Hello. Hello, hello, hello. You are listening to The Other People's Show on 92.5 WLSD, The Vault, 1220 AM or WLSDradio.com. Please tune in, like, share, subscribe, all those things. It's another hot night in the city. You know, there's not anything really on the agenda tonight. I mean, I do have the itinerary for Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. Now, if you have kept up with how many times I have said that over the night, please message me and you will win a prize. Because I do know how many. My producer back there knows, don't you? Go on air. She will not go on air. She likes to stay quiet behind the scenes. That's fine. But it is nice to be with you tonight. It is nice to be having I hope everyone had a good 4th of July. I had a fun time. I had a good... it was hot, as it always has been the last, 3 weeks now, which is fine with me. Like I said last week, it doesn't bother me. I just put on sunscreen. I just put on 120 SPF sunscreen is what I do, and then I'm fine to go out. I don't need to be afraid of the sun because I make sure that I'm slathered in sunscreen. And I get the highest proof you can get. I really do. And that would be, I don't know. I think it's, I got to be honest. I do think it's like 170 SPF. I think that's what I went back to get. 170 SPF. SPF? SPF. I think it's SPF. I think so. But yeah, it's been burning up. So that's what I would do. Just put on some sunglasses, put on a hat, put on the sunblock because you don't want to get burnt. You don't want to get fried like a sizzling piece of bacon out in the on the hot heat. But it is vacation time, and I do hope that everyone had a great and fantastic 4th of July celebration and a 5th of July celebration. Just a celebration all the time. That's what I do in life. I try to live a life that I don't need a vacation from. It's the truth. I know you all watching and you all are at home and driving, you don't think that. But that's what I aspire to do. I try to aspire to build my life in a way where I don't need a vacation from it. My life is the vacation. Now, I'm not successful at it at all, but that's what I aspire to do. That's what I'm going to try to do. I was almost there one time. Almost there. And then it all just crumbled away. And then got to climb back up again. But that's the challenge. That's where you're able to work within yourself. And my mother just sent me a nice message. She said, I hope and pray your day was good and that you sleep well. Good night. I love you. Now that's something that I should kind of talk about a little bit for a moment. Now, obviously, I don't know everyone's situation. I don't know how you are with your parents or how you're not with your parents. But I'm not close with my Faja. And it's not even that I care, because I don't. So if you go walk into any possibly grocery store, clothing store, theater, opera house, Waffle House, rest area, Capitol. Well, don't go there. Anywhere that you want to go, and you just look around and you see people that you don't know. Strangers, correct? That's kind of like if I saw my Faja. Now, do I know him? Yes. Does he know me? Yes. Are there harsh words? No, not at all. I just don't know the guy, so I'm not bothered by it. That being said, my mother and I, growing up, she was more or less pretty much the Faja and the Maja and Faja, mother and father, translation, and it wasn't always easy. In fact, quite often it was difficult. It was a difficult thing for her, and I did know that at the time, but I was able to navigate through that, and looking back, doesn't bother me at all. It really, truly doesn't. I'm able to sit here tonight looking at this microphone right in front of me in this ring light that's blinding me to the right, telling you that it doesn't bother me, and I'm glad that I had to go through the things that I've went through. Now, was it a difficult childhood? Possibly. No more than you. Or you. Are you way back there? Or are you right there at the traffic light? No more are you watching? I see. Thank you for the thumb up. So yeah, those things, everyone goes through those things. There were little challenges here and there, little things, personal things that I've, I guess, had at birth, maybe developed, maybe learned behavior. Who knows to say? Who knows who or what? But it's things that if I really look back, I don't blame my parents. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't blame yours. I don't know. But I can look back and I can see the mistakes that, or challenges that my Maja had and faced. And although maybe not always handled, looking back retrospectively, maybe not handled the best way, but it was the best way for her at the time. Because I know as an adult some of the things and challenges that I have, and when I have those mental days, mental health days, and it's hard to navigate and hard to get through this life, and you sometimes make those wrong decisions, and then immediately you're like, oh no, why I can't change that. But right away, but you've got to deal with the broken glass that you've created and broken, and you have to sweep it up or try to put it back together or navigate and fix it. So I'm in a retrospective point in my life where and not that I ever really did hold blame to my mother or anything like that, but there was a period probably back in 2007, 2008 where I was harsher than I probably should have been. So just each and every one of you all have your own relationships with your family members, brothers and sisters, and maybe if there's not a reconciliation and there's a possible one, maybe it can happen, and maybe it can happen soon, if it's beneficial to both parties. So yeah, that's kind of something that I was thinking about a little bit earlier today. Now, I was looking up on online, on the internet, on the interwebs, and this sometimes just random articles pop out at me. And I was like, that might be something I want to talk about. Or this might be something to, kind of bring up on the show. So this is some things that it was a little survey, and I'm trying to find exactly so I can credit where it came from. But it is six signs that someone secretly dislikes you according to six signs that someone secretly dislikes you according to psychologists. Now, I've not read through these. I don't know what they are. But we're going to go through them and see what they are. What? My producer is back here talking to me, and I'm trying to see what she's trying to say to me. What? Nope. Anyway, so these are six signs that someone secretly dislikes you, because I know that we all face people. We all have people that secretly dislike us. I know that someone secretly dislikes me, and the reason I know this is because on the Spotify, they went and they left a 1 rating on the Spotify, which I had 5s. It was a great 5 rating, and then their 1 rating brought my Spotify down to 3.7. So if you have Spotify, go on there and rate it. And if you rate it 1, at least you've rated it. That's fine. If you want to rate it poor, rate it poor. That's fine. I'll do better. So knowing these things, these 6 things will open your eyes to how people really feel about you. So these 6 things are, and I'm going through this list, we're going to kind of dive and absorb this. So the first sign that somebody dislikes you is that they downplay your achievements. And this is because people who mostly dislike you often are prone to envy. And if you look back at it, a lot of times it is. If you look back at a lot of times when growing up, if people were mean to, like, if you were a female and you were bullied, quite often is because maybe you were being envied. They envied your life. They envied your looks. They envied your personality. They envied, the friends that you had, the clothes that you wore, the phone that you have, whatever it could be. That could be something, or they're nice to you, and maybe tried behind your back sabotage things. That could be things, but they downplay your achievements, or you think you did really well, and you did good, but and they'll say something negative to kind of bring you down. Another thing is, a second red flag you could say is they're never wants to reach out. The truth is, if someone wants to contact you, they will. People are on their phones 24/7. Most people are on their phones. It's an arm's reach away. So for someone to say, I've just not had time to message you, for the most part, that's probably not entirely true. Because in all honesty, if you think about it, how long does it take to pick up the phone and say, you're on my mind. I've been thinking about you. Hey, how's it going? What's up? Hi. On my mind. You okay? Doing okay? It doesn't take 30 seconds. You don't have to write a paragraph. You don't have to go into an in-depth conversation. But a red flag that someone secretly dislikes you is that they never really try to reach out. You're always the one reaching out to them. Let's see what else we have here. A third sign is when a person seems to be nice to everyone except you. You have to face the fact that, honestly, the way people treat you is the way they feel about you. So they're nice to everyone. There's a group, a group of let's see, there's a group of 3 or 4 people in the group, And, someone comes back and she has a coffee for everyone but you. Or, scratch that bad example, they're going around taking orders. Hey, I'm going to the coffee shop. Would you like anything? And then she takes the order of everyone around you. Yeah, I like a pastry. Yeah, I like a coffee. I like a muffin. Yeah, a muffin. No, I want a blueberry muffin. Not chocolate. I want a blueberry muffin. Whatever, just take. So, anyway, taking the order, but they don't take your order. So they come back, and you're like, why didn't they take my order? Like, you're thinking, what did I do? So that's something. Another one is people who dislike you are often jealous of you as they can't stand it when you're doing better than them. So when someone close to you shows signs of envy and tries to compete with you, know that they're a secret enemy. And these are what psychologists say. Not what I, Adam or Ryan says. Psychologist. This is not me. I guess I could see that. So someone close to you is showing signs of envy because they're trying to compete with you. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if that's trying to compete with you would be an enemy, because maybe they just like competition. Maybe it's something they look forward to. Maybe it's not that they're jealous. They know that you're good at something and they want to be better, or they think they're just as good, if better, and they want a challenge, and it's a friendly competition. I don't know. I don't know if I really agree with that one. But I do agree that people often that don't like you can't stand you when the spotlight is on you. And I'm sure, that said a lot to, there used to be a thing on IMDb where you could leave comments, and there were message boards and things of that nature on IMDb. And you could discuss movies, the people in it, or whatever it may be. And I think all that kind of stuff now has moved over to Reddit. But there were several posts, because at the time it was back in the Big Stone Gap movie was going on, and I happened to be a part of that. And Andy I was segueing into that, but Andy had come down, and he had come down to this station. Actually, he came to 93.5 and a couple of different things around town. And, that was kind of thrown and put on IMDb, and kind of like, well, it'll pop up. It pops up occasionally on my Facebook memories, but it's kind of pretty much being derogatory and jealous on anonymous post on IMDb about my friendship with Andy. And I was like, I was never trying to flaunt anything like that at all. I was trying to film a project. The way to get Andy here was to offer him something in collateral in addition to paying, which was to show his movie to the public. So that's the negotiation, and that's what I did. I did what I had to do to get the actor that I needed in my film. Now, I didn't get everything I needed out of him as far as like filming, but it wasn't due to him. It was due to surrounding things. That's another story. That being said, the final sign that people should be weary of when they dislike you is people who dislike you have a negative perception about you. They'll often interrupt what you say negatively. So these are the things that therapists and psychologists and psychiatrists have said, the 6 things that 6 signs that secretly show that people dislike you. I don't know if I truly believe in that per se. I guess it could be true, but just something to talk about. Now, I don't watch a lot of TV, and I guess you would find that's kind of odd. Now, I do watch what I would say a movie per night, or a quote show, as in like a Roommate from Hell, which is something that we've been watching lately. and well, 2 episodes. But I don't really categorize that as TV as far as like, oh, we need to be watching, at 8 o'clock on CBS, whatever comes on. I have zero clue. I have zero clue what comes on any type of network show, any time of the day. Zero clue. Because the fact of the matter is that in 2007, I lived in Manassas Park with Talitha. Now, Talitha and I had a little more of a. That was probably when my life was the most structured during that period of my life, which was actually a really good period and my most successful. So I need to get back to that. But anyway, we would watch a few things, and it was kind of got into a habit that we were into due to the work schedule. I had worked nights; she had to get up early, so we would often watch a show before I would go into work because I had to be there at midnight to 6 at the radio station, and then I would do the show on Monday and then go to the radio station. So I would go to 2 shows on Monday. But that being said, about 2007, we would watch Ghost Hunters. I think we would watch CSI Miami. I think it was CSI Miami on Monday, maybe another CSI on Tuesday, maybe like the New York one. Wednesday, she watched something. One night, I think it was Wednesday, maybe Ghost Hunters, and something else. It was another show. Ghost Hunters was the first show, and then the second show was something about like it was hosted by this guy named Josh Gates. He probably still hosts something, and I guess it was on Sci-Fi Channel. It was directly after the Ghost Hunter show, but he would go visit, like he would hear myths and maybe folklore, or people would write or contact him somehow that he needed to come to this neck of the world and check out this myth or whatever this said thing could be. So they would set up cameras and they would go through the footage, and typically what they would find is nothing that would factually say this thing is what these people claim. But it was a fun show. No, I think on Monday we used to watch Unwrapped. Unwrapped. And if anybody can guess who the host of Unwrapped in, leave a comment and you'll win a prize. You will win a prize. Unwrapped. It's a show about, I think it's on the Food Network. I think it's still on now. I'm not sure, but this was back in the 2007 to at least 2011, something like that. And they would often show how they make candy. It could be maybe chocolate or things that were canned and wrapped in like this big factory kind of setting. It was pretty cool. And he would go visit the facility, and it would show maybe caramels or typically sweets. It was typically sweets or candy-ish, cookie-ish, taffy kind of things. So we would watch that. But we gave up the TV in 2007 because Comcast had overcharged, as they have many of you probably today. I don't know. But anyway, so we just took the Comcast box back and we set it in front of Comcast, and we were done. We paid the bill. Well, we paid what we really owed. We're done. And I've never had cable since then. So anything that I've watched, probably honestly from 2007 until 2012, there was nothing other than movies, except a couple of shows that I watched. Those couple of shows being like a 6 Feet Under, Dexter, what's the vampire show? I can't remember it. It's the one that everyone was crazy about for a while. But anyway, that one. So, but yeah, I don't miss cable, and it's usually a movie a night, If there's a movie for the show, I'll watch a movie for the show. We have a Maxine coming up, and then Longlegs coming up after that. And that's going to be fun. Those movies are going to be fun. Now, it's going to be, both are going to be in kind of the horror genre, and that'll be very, very interesting. But one thing I wanted to touch upon was the, probably back in, I don't know when it would be. I would have to say it's 2007, 2008. I had a stalker at one point. But I didn't realize that it was a stalker situation to begin with, because it started off someone listening to the radio show. And it was back the radio show when we had MySpace. Now, Facebook was still around too, but I still posted on both Facebook and MySpace. And that was really the last time that I've ever had where I've lived on my social media. Because the person was from, I don't want to get too much into it, because as far as I know, they could still be stalking and listening and watching. But they were from another country, and they started listening through online. They found the show online, because even to this day, we still have a good online presence in Germany, in some of these France. We have our crazy enough, we have a good listening audience over there. So I'm not disparaging that. But this woman, she was a girl. Well, she was probably 25, 26, was from another country. And I took it, originally as a compliment, because it's always a compliment when someone says, I like your show, I enjoy your show, and you pick up listeners along the way, and you kind of get to know, not that you get to know them, but they're familiar, and you'll see them, and it's kind of like, oh hey, hey Thomas, hey Lana, hey Susan, it's just names that you see or comments that you see, over time. And that's kind of how this person was. And in the, sometimes I would personally send people messages, hey, thanks for checking out the show, I appreciate it. And it got to be too much. But I stopped that basically, for the most part, after this encounter. I never really sent out any more thank yous personally. Well, no, I take that back. I didn't do it as much, but I still did it on occasion. But the person was from another country, and then I get a message one day, hey, I'm in Washington, D.C., wanted to see if you wanted to hang out. I said, no, I'm busy. Well, I'm over here, just sightseeing, and I thought it would be cool, So, I said, sure, we can get coffee. So we get coffee. But when I show up, she has a couple of gifts for me. She has some cologne, some very nice cologne. And she has something else. I can't remember what else she has, but she has two things for me. And I'm like, oh wow, that's nice. Thank you. I didn't know you were bringing a gift. And it was things that I had said over the show that I had wanted, because occasionally I would just say things like, I really like this, I like the smell of whatever, but I'm too cheap to purchase it. So it would be like that kind of a thing. And I was like, wow. I don't. I felt uncomfortable taking gifts that were this nice, but I did take them because maybe I don't know some of these foreign customs, and I didn't want to be rude. Maybe give a gift back as a sign of non-gratitude and disrespect. I didn't want that. Nothing like that. We had coffee, and then that was it. That was it. So I thought. So, a couple weeks go by. I still see when I'm doing the show, hello, hello. Well, probably, I don't know, 3-4 weeks after that, uh, I go to a movie in Georgetown. There was always this AMC theater, probably still there, unless COVID took it out. But it's under the bridge, right? Well, the bridge, it's not directly under, but it's right almost under the bridge. And it's a nice cinema. I saw the Darjeeling limited screening there. Uh, and I went there probably a dozen times. So I go there to watch a movie called You Kill Me. And it's about this hitman who's an alcoholic. So he's botched several, a couple hit jobs. So he goes into rehab. So it's a hitman. It's a dark comedy. So I go and watch it. It's one of the rare movies that Ben Kingsley's in that's good, and that he's decent in. I think he's typically terrible, but anyway. So I go there and watch that movie, and then after the movie, I start to walk out, and what do I notice? I see the person walking behind me. And I walk as quickly as I can out of the theater, walk up to the bridge, and walk across. And I'm like a little bit freaked out at this point. And so that's about 4 weeks after the first meeting. So I'm like, she's here. She's over here. She's not in her country, if she was even in her country to begin with. And all indications led me to believe that she was actually telling the truth, because I'd seen video that that she had on her MySpace and Facebook page. Now I guess it could have been taken anywhere, but meeting her saying she was from this country, and then her telling me why she was over here, it was very believable. So I go to another movie. I go to a movie called Bad Lieutenant, Port Call of New Orleans. It's a Nicolas Cage movie. I look over a few seats to my right as the movie has started. I'm sitting there. I mean, I can imagine. So I'm going to paint this picture for you, because this is what it was like. So I met her the first time, just being nice to get coffee. Not to get coffee, but meeting. Thank you for listening to the show. You're over here in America, sightseeing with, this au pair family, something like that. Okay, that's fine. And then the movie thing. So then the third, then this thing, I'm sitting there looking at the movie. Before the movie, the previews come on. Actually, it's the, let's get popcorn and soda and snacks all at the convenience center. So that's on. The lights aren't all the way down. The house lights are just medium lights. And I'm sitting back in my chair, and I typically don't get popcorn. But at this particular time, I happen to get popcorn, and I'd taken a water with me, as I often do. So I was eating popcorn and water. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm eating some popcorn, and I just happen to look over. 4 seats to my right. She's there. She's there. She noticed that I notice her, and then she comes and sits right beside of me in the movie theater. And I'm honestly a little freaked out at this point, but I don't even know what to do. I mean, the theater is pretty crowded. We're in the refreshment screen right before the right before the trailers are starting. I look over. I see this girl that is obviously following me, stalking me, and then she comes and sits beside of me, like smiles, says, "Hey, Adam," and then comes up and sits beside of me. Then she reveals to me, because I don't get up and leave, because one, I've paid for the movie. Two, I want to see this movie. I'm a Nicolas Cage fan, and I like the trailer. I like the reviews that I've read, and I like the original Bad Lieutenant. And I say like loosely, because it's not like it's a feel-good movie, because it's not a feel-good movie at all. But it's a movie that I was anticipating, wanted to see what they would do with this one. And I had to leave early because I went into work at midnight, so I had to plan this so I could go from this movie straight into my job at midnight. Or around that time. It wasn't exactly at midnight after the movie, but I would have been off to get to my job at midnight. So I do watch the movie. After the movie, she tells me, I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing here? And she, in her accent, was from like, I live over here now. I went, what? She said, yeah, I live over here now. The au pair I came to visit, that's who I'm doing that now. I live here now. And yeah, it kind of went on from there. And I it went to a point where I was shocked. It went to a point where, I was like, I will. To be honest with you, I've not thought about it in such a long time. One of these articles popped up, which made me think about it. But it was a very weird period because I had been a couple of times recognized voice-wise and such, and it's always a very humbling and almost embarrassing scenario because I can do things on the show or in front of the camera that I cannot do in everyday life, and what I would call real life. The show is, theater of the mind. It's not real life. The stories and such are, adaptations of real life. But me sitting here telling you these is not something that I could do one-on-one. Like if I was sitting in here with no microphone and you're in here, I could not be doing this. So, that's what this is telling. But this was a weird point in life where I didn't know how to react to this. Most, or I would assume most, would not have to deal with that kind of thing. Right? I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong. But yeah. It was kind of a blur because I've not really thought about that in such a long time. It's been quite a long time. But here's a song that I kind of thought of, and this song was a song that was written by inspiration by this event.
I've been hanging around just in case you fall in love with me. I know you have doubts, I hear when you shout, 'cause I understand, you see. I was concerned when you said you'd rather wake up dead than spend a day with me. I know that's not you, I know and it's true. They don't understand you like I do. I've been hanging around just in case you fall in love with me. I know you have doubts, I hear when you shout, 'cause I understand, you see. Hi, it's me again. Yeah, I got on parole. Yeah, if you could just pick up the phone, I'd like to talk to you, please. I've seen misery and have a strange empathy with a woman who kidnaps her lover. This love ain't a dream, I know it's obscene. The calls that I left for your lover, I've been hanging around just in case you fall in love with me. I know you have doubts, I hear when you shout, 'cause I understand, you see. I love you too, and perhaps one day we could meet face to face this time. I'm sorry about that letter I sent you. I'm sorry about that letter I sent you. I'm sorry about that letter I sent you. The newspaper cuttings and stuff in blood. I've been hanging around just in case you fall in love with me. I know you have doubts, I hear when you shout, but I understand, you see. Just tell me that you
And that was Stalker's Day Off. But yeah, it was very weird having a stalker. I wouldn't recommend it at all. At all. I'm serious. You don't think I'm serious? I'm getting like a head shakes in the studio here, and it's true. This story, although I laugh when it's true, but you think it's not true. It's true. I promise you. It's a true story. It is. Anyway, it's been a fun show tonight. Please go to all of our social media pages. That is the YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook page, The Other People Show. Like and subscribe. And if you know any of the answers, even in the replay, leave a comment and you will receive your prize, because I do appreciate all the listeners, all the shares, all the likes, all the chatter around the water cooler. Is that such a thing anymore? Chatter around the water cooler? I really have zero idea. Zero idea. You all have a good night.